Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the Doesn't Even Matter podcast, very special edition with my friend Byrd and Ryan, as always. We're got a bunch of topics here. The South Park Stick of Truth, the new JRPG that's coming out. It's a turn-based game like the old Final Fantasies, and it's based in the South Park universe. It's pretty cool. You can actually walk around and explore. It's supposed to be full of a whole bunch of jokes and funny things. You get to fight like Underpants Gnomes and the other kids. You play as basically a new kid in South Park, and it's around the episode that was based off the Lord of the Rings, where they were trying to get that videotape, the Lord of the Rings videotape back. It's like that. They're all dressed up like they're in the Lord of the Rings, and it's an RPG. It looks really fun. Bird, did you see the game?
Yeah, I see some previews. I'm not too sure. I think it's going to be really funny and really entertaining. I'm a little concerned. All the previews that I saw for it only had screenshots and videos for. It was kind of like a South Park Mortal Kombat. I didn't really see any, adventure or anything like that. It was just characters fighting, and Cartman was the judge. So I don't know. What do you think that's going to be? There's going to be more to it?
Yeah, that was the training. That's in the beginning. In the beginning, they're talking about how it's turn-based. In fact, they even poked fun at it. They're sitting there saying, "Oh, it's turn-based. Well, this is stupid." He's like, "God damn it, Clyde. That's the way it's going to be done, okay? Fuck's sake."
They said that there's a whole bunch of hidden characters and stuff that like you can randomly walk into characters' houses. There was one with Mr. Hanky. They just showed up in the sewer or something.
Yeah. So you're supposed to be able to explore, kind of like, in the old Final Fantasy games, where you can just go anywhere in the universe and explore and check things out. Well, it's the same, but it's supposed to be like in the South Park universe, where you can go like anywhere into people's houses, open doors, open closets, and there's supposed to be a whole bunch of funny things that are happening. And it's a turn-based game, kind of like the old Final Fantasy. Like I said, you take your turn. You actually there's for defense, there's an ability to hit like a certain button, and you'll actually pull off like a defensive move and all.
So are
It
you
looked like a lot of fun.
are you actually like with Final Fantasy where you actually have to hit attack, or do you press a button to swing your sword or whatever?
No, you have to actually like select
Okay.
attack and select magic and stuff like that. Kind of like in a menu. It's turn. That's
Yeah.
what turn based is.
Yeah, well
You're actually.
they had another turn-based game um that came out that was a little different. Um so they're not really specific when it comes down to turn-based. I mean, there could be the one where it's turn-based, you get your turn and then you just get to attack on your own. Um I forget exactly what game came out that was like that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, this is like Final Fantasy turn based, where you hit a button, it does its moves, they do their moves, and then you see who survives, and then you keep going forward. It's supposed to be like an
It does
RPG
look
type
funny,
game.
so you can sign me up for that one.
Yeah. The
Yeah, I
the
can't
one
wait
thing
to
about
play
it, I
it.
was watching a video. They said it was only about 12 hours of gameplay, and I don't know if there's going to be any extra content. But with games
Uh,
nowadays,
There will be. They said there was going to be a bunch of
alright, so
expansions.
they'll be adding to it. So you might get like 30, 40 hours worth of gameplay. They get some weird class names for some of the stuff too. They have regular stuff. It's like it was a thief, mage, and then like Jew for one of them, and it's just like really, it's like that's a class in the game, which is just like that's South. I guess it's South Park humor, but
Yeah, it's war. I think it's warrior. I think it's warrior, thief, mage, and Jew. I don't know what the Jew class is supposed to do.
it's the
Oh
straight up
man.
South Park humor right there.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun. I was laughing my ass off when I seen the video explaining all the classes, and they're like, "Yeah, and the fourth one's Jew." I was just like, "Oh man."
Yeah, I'll have to reserve that.
It's coming out for PC, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360. Comes
Are
out.
you gonna get the
It's not
one with
coming
the
out
statue? The special edition? Special
You talking
edition.
about Titanfall?
No, special edition. of the South Park. I believe, don't quote me on the price, I believe it's either 120 or it might even be 80. I think it's 80. And it comes with, it's either a 6 or an 8-inch statue of Cartman. And he's got the wizard outfit and everything.
No, I'll have to look
Yeah,
up and see if
it
they come
looks
out
really
with that. 'Cause
cool.
if it's only 80, I would consider getting
Yeah, it's
it,
like you're paying
you know?
$20 for the statue. It was,
Yeah, not $200 like Titanfall statue.
well, it was, from what
Ridiculous.
I
What a
heard
ripoff.
from, when I was at GameStop, the guy told me it was first supposedly supposed to be 12 inches, then it went down to like 10, then it went down to 8, now it's 6. I don't know how true that is, but I know that it's definitely either 6 or 8 inches, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I'll look up after the podcast is over. I'll check it out. Now, Comcast recently acquired Time Warner Cable.
They're attempting
actually
to
gonna
acquire. I'm pretty sure it takes a while for it to happen, but it seems like it might go through, and it's not that good if it happens.
Why not?
You sure? I could have swore that they acquired it.
It's going to take like a year for the full merger to happen, but like if they like merge or whatever, like they did this whole thing where they made it seem like they're not competing in the same markets. So they did like a thing where they hid stuff from the public pretty much, supposedly, and like they made it so like Comcast and Time Warner weren't competing, so that they could actually merge. But if they were competing, you wouldn't be able to like merge like that. It would be against like business rules or something.
Well, what's bad if they merge? Why is it bad?
They don't really provide you the right internet speed that you're getting, and they charge you so much money for everything.
Oh, okay. That's I think that's what TJ has, right? Or that's
No,
in.
I have Bright House.
Oh, okay. I did hear.
I have Comcast up north.
All right. Who has that? Like, what area is that in?
Midwest, I believe.
Okay.
And on the West Coast.
East Coast too for Time Warner. I have Comcast right now, and I do like their stuff. I'd rather have them over Verizon 100%, but it's just like
Really, we all rather have Google Fiber. Google Fiber is actually offering, I was looking it up, for the same price I'm paying for the internet now down in Florida, 200 times faster. It's a gigabyte internet for, what was it, $70?
Yeah,
That's what
be
you were
amazing.
telling me about the other day, right?
Yeah, it's rolling out in like 70 new cities. Or
17.
Wow.
17. Yeah,
17,
it's a
was
few
it?
extra.
Sorry, 17.
Right now it's in.
Yeah, eventually when it comes to every state, which might take like at least a decade for it to happen, it's definitely going to be the one to get, and it might force all the other companies to compete with it. But I was reading, though, recently, I know that net neutrality was struck down, and a lot of it was coming because of Netflix. Netflix was one of the reasons that these companies were saying that one website was drawing a lot of their server power, because of how big and heavy the movies are. It takes for them to stream them. And supposedly Comcast had just struck a deal recently with Netflix to allow them to use their servers, and anybody who has Comcast has seen a speed boost on the Netflix server.
Yeah, but do you think that?
I don't.
Do you think Netflix really takes up, like you're saying, like that much? I know when I had before I got the better internet, when I had the slower speed, it's still, believe it or not, it's still streamed really well. It actually, Netflix for me streams better than YouTube did. So, like, I would get, when I had my lower, speed, I would get buffering all the time. But with Netflix, it was kind of like, all right, if you had fast speed, you would get like higher definition or clearer picture, where I would have, the picture wouldn't be as good, but it would, it would play full through. So I thought,
Well, it was the internet service providers that are actually capping the websites.
oh, okay.
In fact, Google had this one website we went to, and you were able to test if your ISP was capping you, so that you couldn't download. Because I can't play, for instance, For some reason, I can't get 1080p videos to come up on my YouTube.
Really?
The YouTube thing was actually a YouTube issue. It's not actually your provider. They've been going through some changeovers. And back on the Netflix thing, Netflix also goes to every ISP, and they offer them a box that has every bit of content that you could imagine that they provide. And I guess like Verizon and a couple other companies are just like, no, we won't take it. Giving them like this $1,000 piece of equipment that would literally make it so when somebody would go to get the video, instead of having to go out to the internet and then stream it from the internet, it would go straight to that server and it would go directly to the person, and it wouldn't even hit the internet, so you would get it instantly. And
so nobody else would be bogged down.
And nobody else would be bogged down. It's like caching. It would cache all the stuff before it would go out to get it, and it would be back instantly instead of taking a
So would it be like a cloud type deal?
Effectively, it would be a cloud at a shorter distance. And what happens is...
Well, that's what's happening now.
What Comcast and them are actually doing is they're making it so instead of like driving a straight line to the actual data and bringing it back to you, they're making you go to like China and then come back for it. So that's why it slows you down. They're doing that intentionally. They're routing the traffic poorly.
Not anymore. From the article I was reading, they were saying that it's directly on the servers now, and there's no going back and forth and hitting other nodes before it goes to your house. It's streaming directly from the servers now. That's what Comcast, because Comcast and Netflix.
These other companies, though, they want to like. I think it's Verizon. They're like, well, Netflix is using our bandwidth, and we want them to pay us because I guess there's this company called Cogent, and there's other companies like Cogent that are actual providers. Like these companies provide the internet stuff to like Verizon, Comcast, Time Warner, and they provide the bandwidth to them, and Comcast and all them pay them for the bandwidth.
So T, let me ask you, with this Netflix that you were talking about, how you weren't getting 1080.
No, YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, it was YouTube.
Wasn't give me 1080.
Okay. So would it let you choose the high def, but it just wouldn't be in 1080? It would be in like 720?
Normally, you're supposed to be able to go to the bottom right hand corner.
Oh, and choose your. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Choose the setting, and then it would reload, and then it would show you. I mean, it worked. From what I remember, it worked up north when I would change it, because normally I think the videos run at like 480p or 720p, and I wanted to watch some footage of I think it was Philip Bloom. Philip Bloom's been shooting stuff in 4K, and I wanted to see it in at least 1080p or 4K in its native resolution, but it wouldn't let me because the ISP or YouTube or somebody is blocking me from being able to watch it at that, because their servers would take a hit if I ran it at those resolutions.
Well, I know with me, mobile is a lot different. Like when I watch YouTube on my phone, I only have one option. I can just choose high quality versus standard. And when I'm on my computer or laptop, I can choose the, 1080, 720, whatever. I got my choice. So I don't know if that's on every phone.
Because the computers, I'm not sure. The Note 3 you have, Ryan, does that allow you to do up to 4K on it on YouTube?
For YouTube videos, no. It comes in 1080p, but if it's shot in 4K, you can tell the difference. It's scaled down from 4K. It's crushed into 1080p.
I haven't even seen 4K yet.
Because most
4K is amazing.
It's 4 times the resolution of 1080p. It's 4 times as many.
Well,
pixels.
what is it? It's 4,000 pixels, right?
It's like sticking 4 1080p TVs and making it one TV, but they're all crushed together.
Okay.
Yeah. Anytime you take an image and you make it smaller, the image quality gets higher. You're taking them pixels, which are like a grain of sand, and you're crushing them smaller and smaller and smaller till you can't see them, and it all blends together. Right. So it looks like a higher resolution.
Well,
image.
The 4K,
the only thing
is that technically 4,000 pixels, or is there more than that?
4,000 pixels times 2,000. It's about 4,000 pixels, so it can be 3,860, or it can be 4,000.
Yeah.
Well,
that's still crazy. I can't even imagine it.
I think it's 3,860 by 2160. So like technically 1080. I think I was watching a video on this. So technically 1080p is 2K because it's 1920 across. But it's just called 1080p as the standard.
Yeah. Well, I just can't even imagine because it's hard enough as it is with 1080p unless you got a 60-inch TV seeing all the individual pixels.
Yeah.
You know?
Best thing to do is go down to Best Buy and go to the home and theater system and watch the Samsung TV running the 4K content.
No, because then I'm going to buy it.
It's like $5,000.
You really don't notice. They were talking about how far you sit away from a 4K TV or any TV in general, that the viewing distance isn't any more than like 6 to 9 feet. And in order to actually appreciate 4K video,
you have to sit further.
You have to be closer.
Oh, closer?
No, you got to sit closer. Yeah, to see the actual difference. The reason being is because for decades now, the viewing angle, the viewing distance hasn't changed. Where you would notice 4K though is on your computer screen, because your computer screen is literally right in front of you.
Yeah.
Nobody's sitting more than like 3 feet from their computer screen.
Yeah, but
it's like right there.
The weird thing is, like
more.
I noticed with my TV, and 4K, I would imagine is definitely going to be the opposite. But with my TV, just a regular 1080p. If I am sitting 2 feet away from my TV, and I have a 50-inch, so if I'm sitting 2 feet away, and versus 10 feet away, it looks a lot clearer the further I am, because I can't see the individual, not really pixels, but with like some cable TV, when you're really up close, you can get like that boxy effect where it kind of...
Yeah, well, that's true. Where you sit closer, you see the pixels. But the idea is on a 4K TV, they're so small that in order to actually appreciate seeing like that graphic fidelity of it, you have to sit closer. It's kind of like sitting at a beach and you're looking at grains of sand. If you're sitting at a distance, you can't see the individual pieces of grains of sand. But when you're sitting up close to the sand, you can see all the little individual pieces.
Well,
and that's what they're trying to say, is that from a certain distance, you're not going to really appreciate it. They were saying that from sitting 6 to 8 feet or 6 to 9 feet, your TV would have to be 72 inches or bigger for you to appreciate it. So it would have to be enormous.
So do you think that the 4K is going to be good or bad?
It's gonna be awesome.
It's good for gaming. For gaming, it's gonna be awesome, especially on a computer when you're sitting really close.
What about for
for phones? It would be great.
What about for the porn industry? Because I know that when 1080p came out, they had a problem because it was showing all their makeup and all their flaws.
Well, then get ready for the 4K Oculus Rift so you can have virtual reality.
I know Mr. Tybox, who's a YouTube person, he does like 4K YouTube videos. He has a 1DC. I think he has 2 of them now. And he was literally like, yeah, the detail on this is ridiculous. He's like, I'm going to have to get my girlfriend to do makeup because I'm just going to look awful for the videos, because he does like videos like that's where he's really close and he's got a really high quality camera. So it's super detailed.
Yeah, even with 1080p, they were having that problem. When they came out with 1080, they had to change their techniques for putting the makeup on, because you could actually see the different blemishes and stuff when they caked it on too much. They had to change it because it's so high def. You can see every little, fiber of hair on somebody's face when it's up close.
And
it's like, Shannon, I didn't know you had a mustache.
Exactly. Now, I was reading recently that they're actually talking about having Android apps from the Android phone coming to Windows operating systems, such as your Surface, your Windows phones, your home computer, and all.
Finally.
There's been debates. Yeah, there's been debates within the company, though, whether it would be the the Windows operating system killer is to allowing the apps to run on your phone. But it might be actually a good thing to have it integrated into it.
Will it have both? It'll have both. It'll have, like right now, the Surface has the Windows. Yeah.
It'll be like you have Windows, but you also can
Android.
download from the Android store.
I think
That'll be the killer right there.
You guys want to hear something funny? I think it'll be perfectly fine because every single Android device that's made, Google pays Microsoft because they own a certain bit of code for how it works properly. So they're getting paid anyways off every Android phone. They make like $1 billion a year. Might not actually be $1 billion, but at least a couple million. So they're gonna.
Why can't we all eat together?
Yeah.
Now, I know me and Ryan have been enjoying the Black Sails. This is a new pirate movie that came out on Stars. It's really cool. It's kind of like Game of Thrones, but with pirates. You know, it's something like like you're actually watching a movie of the new Assassin's Creed video game. It's awesome. We like it a lot. We've been watching it more and more now. In fact, a new episode comes out tonight. It airs at, was it Saturday?
Yeah, it's like Saturday at 9 on Stars.
Yeah. So if you guys get a chance, check it out. They have on their website, what is it,
Starsplay.com?
Starsplay.com. You can actually watch the first episode of it for free. You don't have to have the service. Check it out. We highly recommend it. It's like Game of Thrones. If you like Game of Thrones and pirates, it's definitely up your alley.
It's very much like Assassin's Creed, and like the visuals are stunning. And I know some people don't like them, but Michael Bay did produce some of the first couple episodes, so a very knowledgeable director had some input on this. Which it's pirates, so you're gonna see explosions when it comes to guns going off. So it's great to have him there, anyways, because he's known for blowing stuff up.
Well, what's the story on that? Like, what's it about? Like a summary.
It's actually based on real life pirates that have
lived.
Oh, okay.
Most real life pirates, and then there's it's a historical fantasy.
Okay.
Fiction type thing. So it's got
so it's like
elements.
Yeah, you learn a little bit and you get some cool visuals.
Yeah, I think John Silver is like the main character. There's Captain Flint, so it's got a little bit of Treasure Island, the book, mixed in with it.
Why'd you say a lot of people don't like the Michael Bay?
Some people don't. I've heard some people don't like the way he ruined Transformers. I've loved all those movies anyways.
Oh, Transformers is amazing. I don't care what anybody says.
The only movie that he ruined for me was Pearl Harbor. That wound up being a 3-hour love story, and I thought it was going to be like a, almost like a documentary about Pearl Harbor.
I cry every time I see that.
That was about as good as the Samsung press conference that he did.
Why? Because Ben Affleck's taken? Now,
dude, is this thing on?
I got really excited. Now, I got really excited when they said that they were making a RoboCop movie about 2 years ago. I heard about it, and I recently seen the trailer for it. Now, the trailer for it looked like it was really good. Now, Ryan said that he heard reviews on it saying that it was pretty bad.
I've heard some people say it was like a sham, and then I think Philip Bloom said it was pretty amazing, and he's a filmmaker himself, but he seems to like every movie that he sees, though, so he might be like me.
Well, he probably only sees good movies, like us. We don't go out and watch the shit. We're not watching Sharknado.
Speak for yourself.
I know, Bird's probably got the poster in special edition sitting up in his room. But yeah, RoboCop, as a kid, it was one of my favorite movies. I loved it, In fact, it probably shocked me for the first few times when I watched it, and they shot his hand off. I'll never forget that.
Who would win in a fight, RoboCop or Judge Dredd?
RoboCop.
I don't know. That's a tough one. The new RoboCop versus the new Judge Dredd?
Yeah.
I think that they'd both be on the same team because they're law enforcement.
Yeah, true.
But the judge is higher ranked.
Yeah. That'd be a cool fight, though.
It would be like...
When you come out with the video
Smack the like button below if you'd like to see it.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. It looked really cool. I saw the trailer recently, so I hope it's really good because it looked like
it looks amazing.
And yeah, it did. It did look amazing. I can't wait.
They
to
have
see
Samuel L. Jackson in it.
So hopefully they didn't mess it up.
The only thing, if they make a video game after the movie comes out, it's gonna suck. I guarantee it. Because almost every, every video game that comes after a movie sucks. Hopefully the South Park one doesn't, but I mean, it's like they're doomed to fail, I don't know why, but
They just had bad video games have come out that were made from movies and stuff, but it all basically comes down to the people making it. That's their fault.
yeah.
I mean, there was no reason to ruin the Aliens game. The Aliens game got fucked up from what was it? Gearbox. I'll never buy one of their games again.
See, I don't know how they did that because I think Gearbox is great, but I don't know. Do you think maybe the Aliens game got messed up because of, wasn't somebody else making it in the beginning and then Gearbox took it over?
They tried to pass it off that somebody else was working on it. They were all supposed to be working together, but where was the communication between all these companies?
Honestly, you know who probably messed it up? It was Fox, right? Because they own the rights to it.
Well, Fox owns the rights to it. They're the ones that gave them the rights to be able to make it. But it was Gearbox that had the game for 5 fucking years, and they screwed it up.
The new Alien looks sick. The new Alien game.
What, Isolation?
Oh my god.
Isolation? That's a survival horror game.
It looks amazing.
That's coming out the end of the year, I think. You're not going to be able to kill it. You actually have to run
Yeah,
away
but
from
that's
it.
what I think is going to be so, because it's different, The other one was just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'll be a lot scarier. Now, I did hear that you can get weapons in the game. Like, you had told me that you don't really fight the alien, you just hide from it, like hide in lockers and stuff like that. But when I saw, I think it was a preview, it wasn't a review.
You get to distract it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because
it.
it was saying you can get, like, all these different weapons and stuff. So that it looks cool. I don't know. Hopefully they can get the atmosphere right.
But to take a step back, the Aliens game, Colonial Marines, online was awesome. Like, playing as an alien was a lot of fun. That was great. There was some good innovations with the game, but the game was a complete failure because they killed the community off, because they released the game unfinished. And they had to release it because it seems like they spent all their money on Borderlands and all their time on Borderlands. They were basically stretching themselves thin trying to release that. And unfortunately, Aliens got the shit.
Well, if Aliens came out, let me ask you this. If Aliens came out, you know how they made a patch for it, and supposedly they fixed a lot of the issues. You said that it was too late because the damage was already done. But if Aliens came out, but before the community was killed, if it came out with the patch, like pretend it didn't come out, and then the patched version came out, do you think that it would have got better reviews?
It would have got a little bit better reviews, but it still wasn't on par with what they were promising fans. They promised a lot. The graphics were going to look better. The gameplay was going to be more fluid. By the time it released, the AI wasn't that great like they said it was going to be. The graphics weren't that great.
I heard the lighting was awful.
Lighting was awful. The levels were linear. You couldn't even really explore the ship. They made it like you were going to be able to explore everything and check out all the sets that were shown in the movies. You didn't get to do none of that.
That's bullshit.
They failed on all on all levels. They failed. That's why I don't want to buy any of their games. They promised the world and gave you nothing. And to screw up such a great franchise like that, it's a travesty.
And you actually went out and bought a TV and all for that game.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just so happened to be about the time that I was going to get a TV. But yeah, I went out and made sure that I had a 1080p TV, a nice big screen TV for that game when it launched, and for it to be a complete flop, I was just absolutely pissed. I mean, it's the type of game that you really can't screw up. I mean, it has all the formula for a great first-person shooter, and playing as the alien was a lot of fun. And it was scary. Believe me, when you're playing against human people that were as aliens, you never seen me. You never seen me coming. You heard the hissing, you heard that, and by the time you looked around, I was on you, and I was just biting your head off or ripping you apart or just stabbing my tail through your chest. And all. It was awesome.
That sounds so funny. If nobody knew what you were talking about and they just walked in the room, you're like, I'm stabbing my tail through your chest. But I don't know. I just think that I don't know. I don't really want to blame Gearbox for that. Like, I know it was technically their fault, but they do so, like, Borderlands is amazing, you know? So
yeah,
it's,
I just explained.
no, I know,
why
but it's not
they were
like they're
supposed to be
bad
working
developers, you know?
Yeah, but first off, Borderlands is cell shaded, which
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
impressive to begin
Maybe
with.
they're just not that good on graphics then.
They just they fucked up big time. There's a lot of people that won't buy their games. There's a lot of people pissed
Well,
off.
why didn't that game take like 15 years to come out? Like, how long was it? It was in development forever.
I waited, believe it or not, I waited 18 years for an Aliens game to come out. I waited 18 years, ever since I was 12, for the Atari Jaguar. I was going to get that system when it came out. Well, the Atari Jaguar wound up flopping. They were coming out with an Aliens game for that. I got really excited. I was about 12. So, after that game flopped, I had to wait until about 2001, which was about six years later about. And then they were promising for PlayStation 2 a Aliens game from Fox. Fox was going to have some developer make this game. Well, that game got canned, and then Gearbox wound up taking the reins, and this was like several years later, they started working on the Aliens Colonial Marines. Now, they kept pushing it back, kept pushing it back. So when you see a game get pushed back, you think, oh, great, they're actually putting the time and effort to really fine-tune this game. It's going to be something amazing when it comes out. They're really putting some effort into it. And then by the time you got it, it looked like something that they threw together in a matter of 2 years. I mean, I guarantee you there is a handful of kids out there, and I'm not exaggerating, that could have made that game in the amount of time that they had it. Even better. They could have made it better. There's a bunch of kids out there that can do that.
I think, in my experience as a gamer, every time I've ever seen a game get pushed back, in most cases it's a good thing, but I always, when I hear that, I get scared. Like the new Drivers Club, like it got pushed back. That makes me feel that something went wrong, you know?
Well, that's always
There's a lot of things.
You got to remember these.
A lot of things with the games nowadays getting pushed back.
Yeah.
The Xbox One isn't powerful enough for some of these next-gen games, so they have to tone it down and optimize it and make it work perfect. Otherwise, it's not going to run right. Like, look at Battlefield. It doesn't run right. It's terrible. It's horrible.
Well, not only that, but the developers haven't had enough hands-on experience with these consoles yet to really pull out the graphic fidelity that they can. I mean, you've seen what happened after, almost a decade that they had their hands on the Xbox 360. I mean, look at how good Grand Theft Auto 5 looks. It just takes a while. It's not like on PC where, alright, it's pretty straightforward. We're just developing it for this. We know the people have the power to do it. We know what we're working with. It's everything straightforward across the board. With a console, when you're first getting it, you don't know. Like these developers didn't know when the games were being launched exactly the specs. We didn't even hear about the specs until like the last month when PlayStation and Xbox was being launched. So they're really not sure what they're working with until they get their hands on it, you know, and it takes a while. It takes several years for them to actually get familiar with it, not to mention the fact that Microsoft was saying that they're allowing after a little while to unlock potential for the graphics to be used from the Kinect itself. The Kinect actually uses up to 10% of the processing power of the Xbox. So they'll be able to utilize that in the future. They will allow it to be used up to like, I think 8% from it or 7% from it. So as time goes on, they'll be able to pull more power out of it.
There is something that I did want to discuss. Looking, since we're talking about, you know, some of the games that, you know, were talked about a long time ago, it just gave me an idea. What games would you like to see from back in the day get remade? Tenchu. Yeah, that was a great
definitely.
one. Did you guys ever play Nightmare Creatures?
No.
Oh my God, that
No,
game was amazing. That game would be
for
sick.
those who
I have one that's not
I
so
never.
far away. Like it was probably they made one like 2010, 2011, but I'd like to see Tony Hawk brought back. I don't know.
Oh yeah, well
Like
they made that one. I think it was
They were fun.
2011. It was like a redo of the first one.
I'd like one on the new Xbox. I don't like the new skate games. I just think they're cheesy. I want over the top skateboarding. You know, just do whatever.
Yeah, I like the. I like the Tony. I think it was Tony Hawk 3. I got. I liked it.
Tony Hawk was
Tenchu, for
so
those who don't know,
fluid.
it's
Yeah, it was very. I think Activision made it. That's probably why.
What were you saying, T? Those who don't know?
yeah. For those who don't know what Tenchu is, it's a game that came out. I think around like 2000, somewhere around like 1999. It's similar to Assassin's Creed, except it's with ninjas and samurai. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, remember?
So hopefully they bring that.
Nice night.
Yeah. What? Who are you?
Dude, it was such a sick game. Did you play it, Rye?
Without you.
I don't think I did.
Dude, you're this ninja. You get all these crazy weapons. And the cool part is you have a grappling hook. And you can like sneak around. Like there's these guards that are like walking back and forth and talking to each other. And you got to figure out a way to like sneak around silently. But it's out of every game that I've ever played, I felt like I was in the most control. Like I felt like I was almost, I want to say, in the game. Like I was scared to be detected. I was, it was just so satisfying to sneak up behind somebody and pull them off the roof or slice their throat. It's weird. It's a great game though. That would be awesome to be remade. Now they did make a ninja game. It wasn't supposed to be. It was more. I would say it's more comparable to Ninja Gaiden or Gaiden, however you want to say it. Um, it was called Ninja Blade. It was for the Xbox 360, but that was kind of a flop. But there's still, I mean, there's nothing really like Tenchu. Nothing really else. I mean, Ninja Gaiden is completely different, I think. So.
Assassin's Creed is similar.
Yeah, but
exactly.
it's similar when it comes down to gadgets and all and sneaking around, but just the plot different. Like I think I would have more fun I like ninjas better than pirates. You know.
They're gonna be coming out with cowboy, western Assassin's Creed and ninjas. They've hinted at that in the most recent Assassin's Creed.
That would
game.
be cool. That would be cool.
The ninja one I'll be looking forward to. I don't know about
The
the
cowboy one's
one that
interesting
much.
because it's going to be cowboys and Indians with assassin type thing. So you're going to be horseback riding, which they had in the older ones, but it's just a different area to be in. Like now you're in the Caribbean with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and before you were in the new colonies and stuff like that, and before you were
I'm
over
getting
in
so
Italy.
thrown off with that game. It's like I like the game. It's a good game. It's fun. But it's kind of like I understand it's a cash cow, but it's like what are they gonna Assassin's Creed in space? It reminds me of like Jason, like they're just coming out with like crazy, like I don't know.
Plots for assassins, yeah.
I think they're doing it because there's part historical things that are in it.
Like a cowboy, like. Is next.
There's been assassins for like since the dawn of time.
Yeah, there has been. I understand that, but I don't know. It's like I guess they don't want to stick 100% to where they were because they would have only made 3 or 4, and it would have been played out. It would have been done.
It's interesting to see. Like, I would even find it interesting for it to go Assassin's Creed modern time. That would be interesting too. It seems like they're going from early era, like it was like, what was it, Middle East 1500s, all the way to the 1700s, which it is now. And then
that Assassin's Creed, like you're saying, modern time, that would remind me of like that. You ever see that movie Wanted?
Yeah.
With Angelina Jolie? Yeah. that is like Assassin's like currently. Like that would be awesome. You know.
Hitman basically is like
Yeah,
currently.
Hitman. So, but there's another game that I'd like to see remade. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen.
I've
It
heard
was
of it.
like a violent Zelda. It was really cool.
Is that the one where is it got
You're a
God of War? Is
vampire,
that what
and there's like,
Oh yeah, I played that one.
yeah,
That is a
you
good
suck
game.
their blood, and it like goes across the whole screen, and you walk around in
Yeah, that
dungeons
was
and
a good
all.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that game
And
a
one
lot. That
more,
was
Clock Tower. Did you guys ever play that?
No.
with you a long,
Yeah,
long
it's
time ago.
like a horror game, kind of like a Silent Hill or something, and you're running from this crazy maniac with these big shears, and you gotta like hide in lockers and you know. So, but there is one game that kind of came out like that. I forget the name. I was telling you about it the other day. Um, where do you know, Rye, what it is? It's for the PC. It's like, I think it's a mod game. Um, you're stuck in an asylum.
Oh, I was watching PewDiePie play that
Yes,
recently.
yeah,
What
and
the hell
it
was that
looks
called?
scary as hell.
I know what game you're talking about. I can't remember though. It's got like the.
Yeah,
I think
I would
everybody
want
plays
to.
it because they sit there and play it in the dark and it scares the crap out of them.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's like a survival horror game. You're stuck in an asylum.
And you
Yeah, I've
really
seen
don't
that.
have like tons of weapons. It reminds me of like that new Aliens, what they're gonna do with that. But it's the guys are so freaky looking, and I mean the graphics are like they're definitely next gen. You know.
Yeah, it's a survival horror game.
Yeah.
So how about Titanfall? That we got to play over the weekend.
Oh,
Why didn't they let us
that
keep
game,
it?
I
All three
love
of us
it.
got to play Titanfall. The beta, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's like you're in a Transformers movie almost.
Well, I think with Titanfall, they put all their effort. EA put all their effort and money into Titanfall, and Battlefield, they're just like, you can wait.
Yeah, you're getting a shaft on Battlefield. In fact, speaking of which, now that I got a chance to talk about the video that we'll post up on this, you can check it out. Something I've been dealing with. It's ridiculous. It's some type of glitch right now that's happening where you're losing all your weapons, all your levels, everything. Now it's coming back, but it's an annoyance because you're trying to play the game. You're trying to play with the weapons you're familiar with, things that you worked on unlocking. It takes a while to unlock this stuff. Sometimes it's weeks, several months, and all of a sudden you're coming in. Nothing's there. None of your levels, none of your equipment, none of your accessories, none of the weapons. It's pissing me off because I enjoy the game and it's got enough bugs as it is, and now they got this one.
And you made us
And
reset
yeah,
how many times because you didn't have your weapons, but I'm still at level 2, and I don't have any weapons either.
yeah, but you got to get used to the weapons you're shooting with, and I got this setup that I kind of like. It's not the final one I want to use, but at least it's halfway decent. I can kill some people with it. Then they're throwing me back with this weapon I'm shooting. It's all over the damn place. It's got none of the accessories on it. It's got no scope or anything. I can't see anybody. It sucks.
All right, I wanted
I
to say one thing before we get too off topic. Um,
What's that?
Everybody watching, just post a link below. Let us know, a game that you'd like to see, get remade. I'm curious to see if there's anything that we missed or, anything that we forgot about. Except for that one game, remember Harvester, T?
Yeah.
But
Nobody knows what you're
I
talking
know
about.
Harvester
It's
is
an inside
such a crazy game. But anyway, the Titanfall, what's some things that you'd like to see maybe done differently?
Definitely the one reason I only give it an 8 out of 10 as far as points is concerned, rating, is because no co-op story mode. I think having a co-op story mode, not having it is a huge blunder. I mean, it would have been cool for you and like your 3 friends to run into like a military base and take on like 20 Titans at once. and there's only 4 of you, so you're completely outnumbered, and you got to survive. And I thought it would have been awesome to go against the computer.
I mean, look at
something like Mech Assault.
Look at how
Titanfall,
successful Halo is. And Halo was successful for its storyline, and multiplayer was second.
Yeah.
And when the new Halo comes out, I'm going to play the story before I even jump into multiplaer.
Yeah,
most people end up doing.
I like story mode.
Well, I guarantee that
story mode matters.
they're probably going to do it with the next one. Titanfall 2, because
I'm gonna bitch and complain enough on the forums and try to get everybody else involved. So
I think what it was,
nice.
I think what it was, T, is it's like a new type of game, and they were, I think, trying to get down, a formula that worked. And I think if they went with a story mode, I really don't think the game would have been as good as it turned out. I was actually surprised.
I think it would have been better.
Yeah,
it would have been better.
But what if they would have messed up? Because they would have messed up, they would have had a good story mode and all that, but they might have messed up the online,
Well, that's what happens when you rush a product. You don't rush product.
One thing that I would like to...
These video games are very
One
complicated.
thing with Titanfall
There's a lot involved.
That was a beta that we played. That was not a beta. That was a polished, finished product. There was not one error. I could have just played those 2 maps over and over again with beta. Just everything was fluid. They have put effort.
Yeah, the beta was great. I'm not saying that the game's not going to be fun to play. I just think that, I played Mech Assault, and Mech Assault was an amazing game. And to cut out the co-op story mode out of a game that's so great, you're missing a huge potential there. I mean, that game could have been awesome playing you and your friends. You got to survive through a map. You and all your mechs got to survive through a map, and you're completely outnumbered, It would have been definitely hard to
Well, what's
play.
the difference with what it is now? I understand that if there was what do you want to see, the story? Because right now, when the game comes out, me, you, Rye, we can all take down stuff with our mechs, but you're saying not you don't want to see other people. You want to see take down what, computer? I don't.
Yeah, I I want to see different worlds, not just one map, not the same.
Well, that
maps
was a
all the
beta.
time.
That wasn't all the maps.
Well, I'm talking about when the game comes out. Even when they have 8 maps.
Yeah.
I don't want to constantly play
over and over again.
A player versus player.
Yeah.
Right. It would just get stale after a while. You got to have different type of game types in it to make it interesting and to keep you coming back. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to be fun playing against people.
Yeah,
but
I know what you're saying.
To have a cool story mode, to follow up with it.
More options.
Like Ryan said. Right, like Ryan said, the whole franchise around Halo revolves around the storyline too. A lot of people play it for the story mode. They want to see what happens next. What's Halo Master Chief going to do? You know what I mean? It's the same thing in Titanfall. I'd love to see where they could make a nice story for it, see different environments, maybe possibly make a movie out of it.
Well, the funny thing that you bring up the movie, because I was thinking similarly, every game that has a good storyline, like Halo, Gears of War, there's plenty of other ones, Assassin's Creed, you would like to see a movie about it, but they've already played some of the story. Maybe Titanfall's holding out. They're we're going to wait until somebody comes with us with movie rights, then they can make the story. We don't want to make the story, but you guys can play the game. We made the concept,
Yeah, but you don't always have to follow the story. You can always make up your own thing. You know what I mean? It's not like they have to follow the exact story in the video game that you made. But it would be nice,
Speaking of movies, I heard that Gears of War they were making a movie about that. Have you heard anything about that?
I heard Michael Clark Duncan was supposed to be in it, but that isn't going to happen now. They had a all-star lineup, but it's all just predictions.
Alright.
It must be really tough to get the rights to a video game because nobody makes movies out of it. Assassin's Creed is being made supposedly with Michael Fassbender as the lead character.
I could be a fat Marcus Phoenix. What do you think? Hell yeah!
Coltrane runs on whole grain, baby. Woo!
You gotta slide down the slide.
was it I was playing with?
Yeah.
Was that you, Ryan? We were playing Gears of War.
Cuts to a
Are we
cutscene.
still
We were
talking
playing
about video
Gears-
games right now?
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, we were playing Gears of War one night, and they're like, "Holy shit! There's a whole bunch of guys coming!" And in the middle of everybody shooting, there's like this huge shootout in the middle of a playground. I'm Cole Train, so I seen this slide in the middle of the playground. I'm like, "Oh, look at this!" And I hit X and I go up to the slide, and in the middle of everyone sitting there shooting, everyone gets to see this cutscene that happens, and it's me going down the slide, and I'm like, "Whoa!" They're like, "What the fuck, man? We're sitting there trying to shoot at stuff, and all of a sudden we see you sitting there going down the slide." Like, yeah, this is the perfect time for that.
I love that
But
game. I
it's-
can't wait till next gen Gears of War.
Actually, Microsoft has the rights to it now. They bought the rights off of, was it Respawn?
Well, that's one of the reasons I got an Xbox One, because Gears of War is my favorite game.
Yeah, that was one of the top popular games for
I don't know
the Xbox console.
You guys can't see it, but I got a Gears of War tattoo. You seen it, right, T?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to post a picture of it. It's really nice.
You get the logo or?
No, can you see it? I don't know. No, you're not gonna be able to see it. I'll send a picture and you can post it. It's Marcus. It's like the cover. It's Marcus. He's holding a chainsaw. It was big. It was like $700 or $600.
Nice.
It took 9 hours.
Damn.
Yeah,
A long time.
it's crazy. I'll send you a picture and you can post it or whatever.
All right.
Yeah, there's a new Marvel movie coming out. Ryan showed me the trailer the other day, the Guardians of the Galaxy. This actually looks really funny.
Yeah, that trailer was like magnificently done and hilarious. That movie.
What's it, a comedy? Like a Marvel comedy?
It's like Avengers. You know, how Avengers has that like comedy element, or even Iron Man. They got those comedy things that go on.
I know Deadpool. Like he's a very comedic, character.
Yeah, these guys are like, one of them's a raccoon, and he shoots machine guns. One of them's a giant tree that only says "I am Groot," and it's Vin Diesel playing that character. And then you got like that.
You mean speaking the character?
Yeah, he's speaking the character. Like the CGI on him is amazing.
So it's going to be all CGI based. It's
no, it's real people.
No, not all CGI.
Like some of the characters are CGI.
Like a traditional Marvel movie, you know what I mean? Like it's going to have some CGI elements to it.
Yeah.
There's also people live action.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds cool. I don't know about the raccoon, but
the CGI is really well done on him. Like it, you see him.
Does he look like Iron Man type like movie, or does he look like you're watching like more like a Shrek or like an Ice Age type?
No, it's like you're watching a real raccoon doing.
Oh, okay.
You know how the Hulk is?
It's like you're watching like Avengers, where they're fake.
Yeah.
Half of them are fake, but they look real.
Yeah,
It's
I see.
that.
Like Hulk or something. Yeah.
The raccoon, he's like 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
Like he's not like
Yeah.
Like he's
Oh,
like
okay.
2 feet tall at most.
He's like Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Kinda, yeah.
Basically, yeah.
He walks standing up type of thing too, so he's not like
Okay.
on all fours. And I guess he's like a foul mouth, like angry like raccoon. And then there's the guy from the WWE who
What?
yeah,
What
not the
was
Rock.
his name?
It's the other guy.
No, Batista.
Batista, Batista's in
Yeah.
it. And then there's some comedian who plays Star-Lord, which is like the main character. And he's like a rebel in the galaxy, and they don't even know who he is. He calls himself Star-Lord.
Batista's getting crazy with movies lately. I seen him in a couple.
Did you see?
It's like all these what's up with all these WWE people being in movies? Like I don't understand.
They act while they're in the WWE, so they got some training.
Yeah, it's kind of.
A lot of them are really athletic too. So like if you need somebody to do stunts and stuff like that, a lot of these guys could do their own stunts. I mean, I know wrestling is fake, but in order to be a wrestler, you have to be incredibly athletic. A lot of these guys are doing backflips and front flips and landing on each other without hurting one another. I mean, it takes a lot of skill to do that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, half the stuff with The Rock and Fast and the Furious and stuff, he's probably the one coordinating the fight scenes with the other people. Like, some of the times, I think it was in Pain and Gain, the prison fight scene that he had was with Kurt Angle. Like,
that was an awesome movie. And you know what made that movie better? That it was real. Like, it was based on a true story.
Yeah, a lot of people gave that movie crap because it was, like, you know, it kind of, what is it, like, it made the bad guys, glorified the bad guys, but it was so over the top. Like, if that story wasn't told like that, it would have been boring as hell. Like, you have to kind of glorify them because they're so full of themselves that they think what they're doing is right, even though it isn't.
It wasn't, I guarantee it wasn't glory. Like, people are saying, like, people that don't know about that lifestyle are saying it's glorified, but someone that's freaking high on drugs and, you know, crazy on all the drugs that they were doing, they could easily cut off somebody's hand. Like, you're not thinking clearly. So in reality, yeah, it was kind of glorified or whatever you want to call it, but I believe it. I mean, it definitely is something that I wouldn't put past somebody to do, and I just think they told it with a little funny twist, you know?
That's the same as trying to get mad at, like, Sopranos or get mad at Goodfellas or Casino or any one of those movies. I can't believe people even tried to cause some flack about that.
That's right. I watched that with you, didn't I, T?
What's that? Yeah, during the summer.
That was a great movie, though. Yeah. Yep.
That's where Rock is a Jesus freak. He's wearing, like, shirts with Team Jesus.
If you guys like that movie, you guys got to check out The Wolf of Wall Street. That got a lot of shit because it was like a crazy investment banker, but it's got the same type of thing. It's like a drug-fueled, like, adrenaline, like, over-the-top, crazy thing. But the thing is, like, it's based on stuff that actually happened. Like,
Yo, how dumb can that dude be to return the chainsaw at Home Depot? Yeah. He went in and there was, like, hair in it.
I know.
Yeah, this isn't working for what I need it for.
He's sitting outside with the cop right there grilling stuff, if you know what I mean, too.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, my God.
We're
coming up on an hour, guys, so we're going to wrap it up pretty soon.
Anything else you wanted to discuss, T?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about how Irrational Games broke up, the makers of BioShock. You said that they were going to be shot down to what?
They're going from 200 to 15, right? And I guess I think it's Ken Levine who owns it. It's actually, the studio's pretty close to where I live. It was right down the street from my school I used to go to. But it's Irrational Games is done as of the way we know it. It might be going and doing its own thing. They might be making smaller games or working with a smaller project. They're not going to work on BioShock anymore. They've handed that off to another studio. I don't remember the name, but somebody else will be working on it. They didn't want to work on BioShock 2, I'm pretty sure, too, because their story had been told. But, you know, when they come with the money, you got to make it if you're still looking to make money, you know? And they've told 3 really good stories, and they want to do something else. They don't know what it is yet. They haven't announced it. Maybe it's software. Maybe it's something else. It could be handheld games. You never know.
Well, if they make anything like BioShock, then we're in for a treat.
It's gonna be hard with 15 people. We'll see what they come up with.
Yeah, it's 15 veterans, though. It's like 15 people that have been there since the beginning. So all the other people, I'm still probably have jobs at Irrational, but it's just gonna be, they're like, those 15 people are on their own way, you know, with the owner of that company.
Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing what they got coming out. Alright guys, we're going to wrap the podcast up. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, please post some stuff or questions or maybe some topics you'd like to see us talk about. Please like and subscribe to us, and as always, look forward to our videos. We've been posting up a few video game ones recently. Sorry it took so long for this podcast to come out, but we'll be sure to get another one out in a few days. Thanks for watching as always. I'll see you later. Bye.